colors.
Hello everybody and welcome to the first part of this monthly reset, the cash stuffing section. I love filming this and I think you guys love seeing it as well, so I really hope you enjoy. I've got my money, I've got my binder, let's sort out the finances together. The first wallet that you can see here, which in a moment I'm going to zoom in on, is the emergency fund £500 binder. I'm not going to be adding anything into this binder at the moment because I've actually added it straight into my savings via my bank this month, so I'm moving that on into following month. Same with Arthie, his money went straight onto his medicine, so I didn't add anything onto that as well. And then we're going to be looking at home improvements and boilers, etc. I don't need to be adding anything onto that because that is separate this month as well. Birthdays also, no birthdays, so that's also sorted. And we're going to start in the Christmas binder. So I'm going to get my money out and I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds towards Christmas 2025. I'm going to be adding 30 pounds to that binder, to which that will give me £90 budget for Christmas. George does put money towards, we could do it like together. So I make hampers for Christmas, so anything extra I can save, I put it to what he's got and we just sort it out together, and that kind of works out really, really well. I then get my highlighter and in my budget tracker, I highlight what I'm popping into my cash folder, cash stuffing binder folder thing. Got these off Amazon. If you're interested, I will link them below. No, I am not sponsored. I've been using these for years. We're then moving on into the big birthday binder. My aunt has got a big birthday next year and I'm so excited. I'm planning ahead and I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, £100. For her binder, I'm going to be adding an additional £50 to that. So that will take it up to £150, and we're well on our way to planning her little birthday surprise. She has no idea and I'm so excited. Her birthday's in January, but I'm actually going to be planning this birthday surprise for May sort of time because the weather will generally be nicer. Well, should be nicer anyway. So that is the big birthday binder, and I'm just going to be putting £50 a month aside in here until I get closer to the time when I can buy my tickets. We're then moving on into the coffee and food binder, and I've got a little bit of change left over because I've been buying my coffees from work from Greggs. It's so affordable. It's so much affordable. I love Starbucks. I love Starbucks so much, but Greggs really, really is fantastic and it is affordable. Now, I put money into my Starbucks app separately for the rest of my coffee and food bits and bobs. So it gets £60 in total. £20 goes into my little Starbucks app, and then I put £40 into my coffee and food binder. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 pounds. Yeah, I counted that really quickly. But yes, £40 we should have going into the binder, and I use £5 notes for this because I just find it so much easier, and I think if I take a £10 note, I'm more inclined to buy more things like cakes and stuff. So yeah, £5 is perfect, and that is enough usually to get you a small slice of cake and a cup of tea or coffee at most coffee shops. I'm then just adjusting some things. I then get my purse, and I've got some change still left over for the coffee and food binder as well. So I'm going to pop a few of those little coins that I'm not going to need into my coin jar downstairs. And then I will put the rest of the change, which I know will get me a coffee at least from Greggs, if not a coffee and a sausage sandwich. And I'll pop that into my folder just in case I want breakfast before work one morning. And Greggs is definitely more affordable. I'm also going to be putting £5 in there already for the next day when I go to either Starbucks or Greggs. Well, actually, it was Greggs. It wasn't Starbucks, it was Greggs. Anyway, We're then going to move on into the dentist fund. Now, the dentist fund is adding up quite nicely. I get dental insurance as well. So I pay for my dental treatments and then I get money back, which is really, really good. It's thanks to where George works and I'm really grateful for that. But that wasn't getting any money this month because my sister and my beautiful little baby niece are visiting and I wanted to put money aside for when they come to see me. So we've got that little wallet or envelope and the front section of the journal, and I'm going to put money into that. I then take the money, which is £40, I'm going to put towards spending time with my niece, sister and mum and my little nephew, put that into that envelope and then I will put it into the side just there, and obviously write on it that it's actually August. That's the main big event I've got coming up in August, and I don't really have any other like financial trips out that I'm doing, etc. So yeah, this should set me up for the month. And of course, George does help with certain financial things as well, to which I'm so eternally grateful for. He does pay for me to have my nails done and my hair done, because a lot of my money goes into either savings, projects or insurances that I pay for, and I also don't get a lot of money. But anyway, I talk about that in the goals and the Q&A part of this video. So thank you for watching the cash stuffing, and we're going to move on to that section of the video. Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm just getting comfortable. Now, I'm really sorry for the lighting in this video. It is grey outside, could rain any moment here in the UK, and it's the 29th of July. So who knows what the weather's going to be like. But welcome back to another video. Today is going to be a sit down talking video. It is going to be a monthly reset. So thank you so much for joining. You have already seen my cash stuffing part of this video. So I really hope you enjoyed that. And would you like to see that every month? Because I like filming it. So if it's something that you like to see, then let me know in the comments down below and I'll be sure to include it in every monthly reset going forwards. I've also got myself a little snack. I made myself some, with the leftover dough from the peach pie, I made some little jam tarts, and some of them turned out better than others. I'm making my really good friend an apple pie, because she's just had a baby girl and apple pie is her favourite. So I'm going to be making her an apple pie, and with the leftover dough from that I'll be able to make more jam tarts. So that is so adorable. This video, obviously, like I mentioned, is a monthly reset. We have just done the cash stuffing section of this reset, and now we're going to be going on into July reflections. How July was. We are about to come into August. Where is this year going? It's gone so quickly. I absolutely just cannot believe how quickly this year is going. Like, I feel like, I don't know if any of you feel the same, but I feel like I'm blinking and it's a new month. Does anybody else feel like that? Please let me know below if you do. So I'm going to go through my July goals first and foremost, and then we're going to do some reflection. So my first goal I set myself was to eat 100 grams of protein every day. The second goal was to do one form of exercise every day. The third goal was to read a new book. My fourth goal was to organise work needed for our home. And my fifth goal was to make summer mocktails. So they were really simple, straightforward goals, nothing too extravagant. And for the most part, I ticked them off. I have been eating 100 grams of protein for the majority of July. There have been a couple of days where I haven't, but for the most part, I have. And I have been doing at least one form of exercise every day, whether that's walking, biking, or doing a home workout. When it's my time of the month, I do very little. I don't really exercise during that time of the month because my energy levels are really low, and I just honour that time and honour that moment, and I know that I'll get back onto exercising when that has passed. So that's that. Reading a new book. I haven't read a new book, but we'll get onto that in August rather, because I'm trying to finish a book that my aunt lent me. And it is a really, really good book, but it is also taking time to get through. And I'm spending a lot more time in my Bible and doing actual Bible studying, which does take, I do that and for an hour every single morning. So sometimes I don't have time to read an actual book. So, but we'll get on to that. The fourth goal, organising work needed for our home. So yes, we've actually got CCTV cameras fitted on our house now. So that is really exciting. So we have got those. And the fifth goal was to make summer mocktails, which I haven't made many yet, but I'm hoping to migrate that into August. But aside from that, July has been a really lovely month. I'm just looking back through my thankful and grateful section of my bullet journal. And there's been some really, really joyful moments. And, you know, I've been working out with George. We had our holiday. I've spent time with friends and family. We've had work done to our home, which is really exciting. I've started the majority part of the painting and decorating in our home, in this hallway and landing. I've been more focused on God's word, learning his word and doing more Bible study, which has been amazing. And I've been eating from our garden. So July has been a really lovely reflective month. It's been a really, really nice month. And I'm definitely loving my Bible study sessions and going through Bible study more seriously. I'm learning so much. I'm learning. So I'm reading Leviticus from the Old Testament, James from the New Testament, and a Psalm. And it takes me ages to read them because I write everything down and I always read the footnotes. But I'm learning so much from each one, and I'm finding that each section is all linked together and all points back to Jesus, which is incredible. And I'm really, really, really loving it. So that is July. And I just felt that it's been a lovely month. Now, with regards to financial side of things, I've just been really bad. I've been really bad. I need to be held accountable. I need to repent. But I am slowly, slightly doing better. But my emergency fund kind of dwindled. And on nothing really specific. We did have to take Arthur to the vet. So a lot of it went on him. Or a chunk of it went on him. But aside from that, I've just been really silly, if I've got to be brutally honest. I've just not really reined it in, which is really sad and really bad because I had built it up to quite a good little nest egg, and then aside from Arthur, aside from bits from the house, it just dwindled. So I was cross with myself. However, we are going to move on into the financial side in just a moment, because obviously we went through the cash stuffing side of the video, cash stuffing side of the video, and the financial part of that side. So I will be talking about finances in just a moment, but that was the reflections of July. I'm next going to go through, which is so exciting, is my Q&A. Look at all the questions you guys have asked me. You've asked me so many questions. So I think what I'm going to do is, I don't need that. I'm going to answer a few of these questions, and then I'm going to answer the rest of them in another video, in my next video, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 25. Whew. I have 25 questions, which is incredible. So I think what I may do is I may answer 12 questions today and 13 questions in the next video. So you'll just have to come back and see if your question was answered and ask me anything else. So if I answer your question, or if I answer a question but you have a sub question to add on to that, leave them in the comments below and I will do that. But I'm just going to pick these at random and then I will tick them off with my pen. No, I'll highlight them. I'll highlight them, the ones that I answer, that I've answered, and ones that I haven't answered. Okay, so all right, I'm just going to close my eyes and then I'm going to stop. Okay, I'm probably not going to do it that way. All right, so my first question I'm going to answer is, do I still work or am I a full-time YouTuber? That's that one. I do still work. I work 3 days a week I'm not a full-time YouTuber yet. It is something I would love to do, but I wouldn't want to change anything that I'm doing. I love just filming the day in the life videos and my little vlogs, and I think if I did it full time and made it like a full-time career for me, I would just still do what I do now. And if I went down like a management route or anything like that, I'd be very, very cautious and very careful with who I picked, who would support me and manage me, because I just love filming my little day-to-day videos, and that's what I enjoy, and I really like being realistic, and I like it that you guys can relate to my videos, and that is the most important thing to me. So I would love to do this full time. I would love to enable myself to do what I love most, which is being a housewife, being a homemaker, taking care of our home and George and Arthie and my family and friends, as well as filming it. That would kind of be my dream. So yes, I do still work. So every single video that you see, especially my short videos, my shorts, TikToks and Instagram reels, I film on the day, and I edit on the day, and I upload on the day. So it's a lot of work, and editing a YouTube video can take from anything from a couple of hours to 4 to 5 hours, but I love doing it and I would never change it. So it's a really lovely hobby that I love, and yeah, and I am getting a little bit of money from my YouTube channel. So this is going to follow on into another question, which is, do I regret starting YouTube? Now, the lady who asked me this question, it kind of tied on to, there have been people who have had some hate comment or negativity. I'm really fortunate that I haven't had any real negative, horrible comments. To be perfectly honest, I'm 35, and if I do get anything negative or any negative feedback or comment, if it's constructive criticism, that's absolutely different. But if it's somebody just out there wanting to just spread negativity or just be nasty, I'll either just delete their comment straight away, or I'll keep it on there, because if you're watching my video and you're taking the time out to leave a mean, horrible comment, you're actually helping me out, because you're helping me because it's making other people see my video. So all the comments, all the generation, all the likes, all the shares, all the subscribers is really, really helping me out. So like I said, if a person is going out of their way to A, watch my videos, B, leave a nasty comment, is actually helping me out. So I'm quite thick-skinned. There's not much that really upsets me now, especially at the age that I am. If I had been a lot younger, then yeah, I probably would have been really upset. But no, I don't regret starting YouTube. It's a lovely hobby and I absolutely love it. And like I said, I'm actually starting to get a little bit of money from YouTube now, just from Google AdSense, and it's not a lot. It's probably, you know, between 50 and 70 pounds every other month, but that's so amazing though, because it's something I never had before. So I'm really, really, really grateful. I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, I just love filming my videos. So no, I don't regret it. Okay, so my next question is going to be, how did George and I meet? George and I met at work. We both worked in the same industry, which was an optician's, and we were friends first. We became friends first and foremost, and then we just blossomed, and we used to go out for coffee a lot, and we realised that we really liked one another, and one thing led to another. He asked me to be his girlfriend, and then I moved in with him, and the rest is history. That was, gosh, that was in 2011. So wait, we've been together nearly, I think it's 15 years. I'm sure it's 15 years. So 2011, 2021, that's 10 years. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 14 years we've been together. 14 years together, and then 6 years married. So yeah, it did take a while for us to get married, but it was God's will, God's way. We weren't ready until the time came, and then we were ready. So that is how I met George. And there's another question. There's two other questions that will link onto that. How did I know that George was the one? And what advice would I give to young people getting married? So I don't think it's really weird to describe how I knew George was the one. I think it's just a feeling. It's just a feeling that you get. And I think because we started off, we built a friendship first, and then it developed into a romantic relationship. And I can't ever really answer how I knew he was the one, because I just knew in my heart, in my gut. And the advice I would give to any young person getting married or thinking of getting married: sit down with your spouse and put everything on the table, everything, all the debt, all the everything that's you've got on your mind that you want to, because when you get, for me, marriage is a sacred vow, and it's not something that you just throw away through. It's not some, for me, marriage is not something that you would just throw away because it's hard, you're bored, or I mean, there are specific reasons to end a marriage or to end a relationship. I'm really, really grateful that George and I were together a long time. We were together 9 years before we got married, and during that time we lived together, so we knew a lot. We knew everything about one another. But when we first got together, we both sat down. He told me everything he needed to tell me to get off my chest, get off his chest, that I needed to know in a partnership, and I did the same with him. And I think that's so important. I think communication with your spouse is so important. When you decide to marry somebody, you're a partnership, you're a team, and I think you need to have that bond with one another. So if times are hard, you're there to support each other through the eyes of God, in my opinion. So that's what I would say to a young person. Just, if it's something that you want, don't do it for the big white dress or the big party. For me, marriage is joining together in holy matrimony in the eyes of God, and you want to be with that person forever. And, I think if you get to know that person first and you know them inside out, sometimes it doesn't always happen. And I'm really grateful and really, really fortunate with the position that George and I have. However, George and I have been together through really difficult times. I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. We had lots of other sorts of trauma going on in our life. We've had workplace trauma, and we've just kind of been each other's rock, and we've dealt with it together. And I've always said to him, I fully support you, I'm with you, I'll do whatever I can to help you. And likewise, he's been the same with me. So yeah, we've both been each other's rock. And I just think if you sit down with somebody that you want to marry, make sure you know everything, make sure they have everything on the table. And yeah, that's basically it, really. That's kind of how it's worked out for me. So my next question, which is a funny question, not silly, funny question. So I'm going to highlight that one. Okay, so you're on a desert island. What is the one luxury you would take with you, and why? It's not a luxury item, and you're going to laugh or think it's cringy or whatever, but I would take George. I would take George with me, because I couldn't survive on a desert island without him, or without, men and women have both very, very different skills, and women can't do everything that men can do, and men can't do everything women can do. That's why we're a team. That's why God created man and woman, so we could be together and we could unite, and we could form a bond and form a really, really good unit. So I know it's not a luxury item that I would take with me, but I class George as luxury, because he would know how to hunt for food. He is less emotional, as in I'm the emotional one, he's the rational one. And if we were stuck on a desert island, I'd want to be with him, because he would calm me down for a start. He would help hunt for food, and I would cook the food. Then if it was just the two of us, we could procreate and bring life into the world. And basically that is why I would take George with me. Like, it would have to be George. It couldn't be a physical luxury item. It wouldn't be my phone. It wouldn't be technology. Because if you take your phone, you take technology on a desert island, first of all, how are you going to charge it if you don't have electricity on a desert island? And if you take anything technical, you've got no source of power. So, I would take George, because we would be able to survive. So that's that question. I hope I hope it's good. My next question I'm going to answer is financial. Somebody's asked me, obviously going through and this is when it's going to link into my cash stuffing and my budget tracking. So somebody asked me that in my budget and in my tracking, I don't mention mortgage, bills, clothing, haircuts, things like that. That is because, again, going back to a team unit with George and I don't earn a lot of money in my job, in my day job. With me working 3 days a week, and I work 3 days a week because of my MS, but with me not earning a lot of money, George takes care of the big financial things in our life. We also want to go down the journey of that traditional lifestyle where I will be the housewife one day and he will be the main provider. And I know there are a lot of people who would worry about me because I wouldn't have any financial income or things like that. However, George and I are very sensible and we've spoken about it, and we've, there are things in place where I will be okay. I will be fine, but I don't pay any money towards the mortgage or the bills. George takes care of that. I take care of our insurances, so I take care of life insurance, home insurance, pet insurance, groceries, and then my money is mine and George takes care of the other things. With regards to clothes, haircuts, nails, George also very, very kindly pays for those for me. I don't buy clothes all the time, hardly ever. I don't, very, very rarely buy clothes, which will lead on to another question. Haircuts, I have my hair cut probably 8 to 10 weeks out of the year. Very, 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 it's rare. It's not very often. I get my hair coloured once a year, and my nails I get every 3 to 4 weeks done, and that's the only big thing that I do on a regular basis. But aside from that, I don't really buy clothes. Getting my hair done is rare. It's like a one-off thing, but getting my nails done is an every month thing. That's the one thing that is my treat. Also buying coffee out, but I pay for my coffee out and about. But what I also do is I put money aside into a private. I have a workplace pension and I have a private pension, and I put money away into my private pension. I put as much of my money away into that as I physically can. We also put money away into savings and investments towards things that we need for the house. I also help and put money towards birthdays, Christmases, anything that I want to do throughout the month, Arthi, and also my emergency fund. So my money goes into savings as opposed to bills. So when the time comes where I could be a full-time housewife and George can be the main provider, he is going to ensure that he can still cover all of that. He can pay my private pension, he can pay into the emergency fund, he can pay into house savings. What I earn, he wants to match that on top of his salary, so then we are still living the same lifestyle. I'm just not working. I hope that makes sense. That's kind of that side of it. So my next question on to that one. How many have I answered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, okay. My next question is, why did I choose to live in Newark? I'll answer that one. We chose to live in Newark because I wanted to be close to my grandmother. I was born in Newark. Well, I grew up in Newark for my early childhood years, and then my mum and dad separated and we moved away with my mum. But I've always been close here. I've had a very, very close bond and relationship with my grandmother and my aunt. They lived here or live here still. And I wanted to spend the last few years with my grandmother before she passed away, basically. That, and buying a house further north in the UK is actually cheaper than south. That's buying down south. It's a lot more affordable to buy north. And we found that out. We lived in Peterborough and we just couldn't afford a mortgage down there. But we could here, which was really great. We were really fortunate, and I've mentioned it before that God gave us this house. God guided us to this house, and for the price that we paid for it, it should have been worth so much more than what we paid. And I'm so grateful every single day for our home. I love being at home. If I have to make plans and go out, I don't really like it because I love being at home so much. It's just so joyful. But yeah, that's the reason why we moved to Newark. And okay, then my next question is, what do I do for work? I work in an optician. So if you're in the US, an optician is like an eye doctor. So I work in an optician 3 days a week. And then the next question is, would I ever be a full-time homemaker? Which I think I've answered that, and that is absolutely 100%. I'm so looking forward to that, and I can't wait to become a full-time housewife. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, I've got 2 more questions to answer. Are we planning on having children? The answer to that is no. With our ages, George is a bit older than I am, and we've both got medical conditions, which it just wouldn't work. Like, if God wanted us to have children, we would have children, and that's the way I look at it. And we love being auntie and uncle. It's fantastic, and we can give them back when they can go home to mummy and daddy. And yeah, we've got Arthie, he's our child. And yeah, with our health conditions, children just wouldn't work. So yeah, we're perfectly happy without children. And that will tie on to one question I was asked about George. When was George diagnosed with his condition, and how do we cope with it? So George was diagnosed in 2023, 2024. It's been a very long, it was a long process for him. Not very long, but long. It was, yeah, it did take a while to get his diagnosis. I'm going to turn this light off. I think we're okay now. Yeah, I think it took a while to get his diagnosis, but when he did, I've got multiple sclerosis. It's a neurological condition as well. His is neurological too. So we just live day by day, and we just enjoy life, and we joke about it, and we have a laugh about it, and sorry, I'm just getting comfortable because my leg's going dead. Ugh. We joke about it, and we laugh, and you know, we have fun, and there we go. And that's the best thing to be, because I think God gave us these for a reason, you know. And with George having his condition, which we don't want him to have this condition, but he's been diagnosed with it now. It's all good. We know what it is. We know how to deal with it. But it's enabled him to work from home all the time. He doesn't have to go into the office. He doesn't have to travel, which is really, really lovely. So he can stay at home like all the time, and that really, really works for us. So we literally just deal with it day by day. And yeah, it's the same with my MS. So I had a question about that, about my MS. How do I manage my MS on a day-to-day basis? Right, that's going to be the last question. Again, it's day by day. I go to bed really early because I get up early. My energy is better in the morning as opposed to the evening, early afternoon or evening. And yeah, I just literally day by day, if I'm say off today and I didn't feel good today, I wouldn't film, I would rest, I'd probably stay in my pajamas, and I literally just take it day by day. If you are interested in my MS journey, I will link all my MS playlists down in the description box below, including Living with MS for 10 years, that video as well. So if that's of interest, I will leave all of that linked in the description box below. But that is the questions I'm going to answer in this video. So you'll have to come back and see what I answer in the next video. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 questions to answer in the next video, and they will be related to growing my produce, a bit more about multiple sclerosis, a lot about my faith, my testimony, my Bible studying, my Bible journeys, how I do that, where I buy my dresses from, and also my weight loss journey. So if that is something that you wanna come and see me answering more questions, please do subscribe. Please click the notification bell, ring the little bell, and you'll be notified when I answer my next set of questions. For now, we're now going to jump on into the goals part of the video. So this is going to then conclude this video entirely. So for August, first of all, have you guys got any goals set for the month? Let me know below and we can all work towards our goals together. So I will go through my goals and then we'll talk about it. So the first goal that I'd like to do is to have finished my book that my aunt lent me, Make Time in the Evenings. My second goal is to continue to grow my YouTube and social media presence, editing cut off 7 p.m. though. Then the next one is any extra money I get from YouTube add straight into my emergency fund. The fourth goal is to organise more work needed for our home decorating and electricals. The fifth goal is to cook and bake from scratch. And the fifth goal is any spare money put towards home jobs. So any spare money I have, I'm going to do that. So the first goal is to read the book my aunt lent me, Make Time in the Evenings. So that ties in with the editing of my short videos, because I always seem to find that I'm editing them at like 7:30 at night, and then I get really tired, and then by the time I get into bed I literally go straight to sleep and I don't read anything. And because I do all my prayer journaling and Bible studying in the morning, I don't have time to read my book in the morning either. So I want to make more time in the evenings to just sit down with a lovely book, nice music, nice drink, and read my book. And that ties into cutting off editing at 7 p.m. to allow myself more time to read my book. And any extra money I get from YouTube added to my emergency fund. I'm building my emergency fund back up. We're currently sat at £200. I may need to double into that towards any work needed for the home. So I may need to tap into that, or I can wait. So we'll see. We'll see how that all turns out. I might be sensible. Organise work needed for the home, decorating and electrical. So the decorating side of it I probably will need to do first, and the electric, anyway, we'll come across that bridge when it arises. I may need to use my emergency fund for that, for the house jobs that are needed, but yeah, we'll come across that when it's needed. Cook and bake food from scratch. So you have been seeing in the last couple of videos that I have been doing this, and I'm really loving cooking from scratch. It's really, really joyful, and I want to continue doing that. And then any spare money that I have from this month, so I'm spending some time with my niece, and any other extra money that I've got I will put towards home jobs or my emergency fund. And that is the August goals complete. You have enjoyed this video. Again, let me know if you've had any goals set for the month and leave me any comments down below. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video, and where I will be answering the rest of my questions. See you all soon. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.